But what ends up happening is you want to be so perfect when you start that you start to realize that you don't even realize that the more research that you do is all repetitive information. You already know what to do from the get-go. You already know exactly how to start this thing off and how it's going to end. You know exactly how to plan for it. But yet, instead of going out to do it because you had that fear of failure, you get stuck on research mode, and then you end up just regurgitating the same research over and over and over again, where the successful people who have done it already have told you that this ain't what you're supposed to be doing. Nothing trumps experience.
Right.
Y'all heard Marcus say it. You heard him say it. He said that you get a different level of knowledge when you go out and do it. When you reading a book about how to torque a screw, you reading a book on how to torque a screw. That screw still ain't got torque yet. So you actually got to get out there, pick up the torque wrench, and actually turn that ball yourself.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains.
This is the Dirty Trunk Podcast with your boy Marcus Morton. Here with me as always, my co-host D. Aaron Mack, and we are back.
We are back. Yo, tell me what's up. What's been going on, man? I feel like I ain't talked to you in like forever. Like even like just before this conversation, I felt like I was like trying to stay quiet so we could just whatever conversation we have, just save it for the cast, you know. So tell me, catch me up, bro. What's up?
Not much, man. Just had a real great Thanksgiving, you know. Even though, some of my family members, wasn't, there, we all still tried to make do with what we had, My family's pretty, tech savvy, so, they got on the Zoom call and everybody, just, what's up, cousins, aunties and all that other stuff, we still try to make it, try to be, traditional as possible, even though we got, COVID and stuff, just adapting with the changes of what's going on and stuff. This still was real nice. Felt like a time of reflection, just thinking about like, personal relationships in general, just having a lot to be thankful for, really. What about yourself?
Man, I mean, this week has been it's been a fun week, man. Very very enlightening. I don't know if you heard the news, but your boy finished the whole novel in 1 month.
I seen.
Your boy did
congrats.
that. Your boy did that. 50,000 words. 50,000 words in 23 days, bro. I'm feeling right.
Awesome.
Considering it took me a whole 5 months to write the 100,000. It only goes to show like you can do anything that you say you can do, and if you say you can't, then you can't. Like it just like I got the certificate right here. I had to post it up just for I had to post it up just for the sake of bragging, right? So but Thanksgiving, man, it was pretty dope. I spent the first Thanksgiving with the Lissa's family. And that was a bit of an experience to see Thanksgiving happening in a different type of perspective.
Oh, really?
From a whole different family, man. It was all love. Mom took me in, like they embraced me like family. We got like Christmas memorabilia with my name on it and stuff.
Hey.
So I feel kind of honored, like being a part of the family, man. It's all planning family vacations and all that other stuff like that. But it's what's up, man. It's kind of weird though. Like you said COVID earlier, and COVID has really put a really big spin on how we spending the holidays this year, man.
Yeah.
I remember hearing like a week ago that they canceling Thanksgiving and Black Friday. I'm like, how you gonna cancel Thanksgiving? So I can't be thankful because y'all won't get sick. Like how that work?
Facts.
Like, but I woke up this morning. I forgot to go to Walmart last night. And I woke up real early this morning, about 7 o'clock, and went to the Walmart park. Went to Walmart, man, and the parking lot was empty, bro. Like it
Come on.
was the weirdest thing. Like, yo, today is Black Friday, and there is no cars out in the parking lot of Walmart
What?
right now. Like it's crazy, bro. It's insane.
So they really
COVID
went
has
through with
really
it.
messed
Okay.
us up.
Oh man, like what? That's gonna put a hurting on the economy. This is supposed to be
Man, what you
they
talking
spike.
about? Black Friday. Black Friday is the end of the year fix to the economy's
Right.
problems, man. And we ain't even got it this year.
Oh
You
man.
talking about government about to shut down in February again? Like,
Right.
ain't nobody getting no tax money.
Bruh. That is wild.
Oh man, protect your pockets, folks. COVID is really messing up.
Facts. Gotta put a lock and key on that thing.
Oh man, yo. So we'll be here to discuss today, man.
Ooh.
I'm excited about the podcast, dog.
We
I did.
Huh?
I did have something that it was kind of on the grounds of what we've been discussing as far as like relationship stuff, and I found something off of Reddit that I wanted to bring to the table, and it would have been nice to have had a female's perspective on this topic, because maybe we could kind of save it for next week, being that it's very female driven, this topic that I found. So we probably gonna save that one.
All right, we
I think it might be best to save that one because it was a crazy story that I read, and I was like, I got to take that to the table. Like
Okay.
it was no anyway. What we got, man? Let me not take over the conversation.
Well, speaking on like reflection and whatnot, just like looking back, a lot of times people would like get hung up on like past mistakes or things that they failed at. Like some people will go through like this tragic breakup and still be feeling it like today. Like you could with things like that, you got to make your peace. Like nobody's perfect, and you shouldn't like hold yourself accountable to stuff that you have no control in. Sometimes life just deals you a crappy hand. You just got to roll with it and make the best of it. Really.
Right.
I know with myself, I try to I always try to understand, like if I had like a bad relationship or something, or I break up with somebody, I try to understand the kind of like the what went wrong, or
Right.
what could I have done first to be better in that situation. I really don't like pass the blame game, because it's never really like truly anybody's fault. Like there's always two sides to a story, so trying to get that other person's perspective is also something that we should like try to do. So we can like learn and better ourselves for the next relationship. For
Right. Is there a question attached to that?
Nah, not really. Or
you hit me with the knowledge, like where that come from? where that come from? Let's talk about it.
like I said, I just been kind of like reflecting, like thinking back on things. It's just popped up in my head for I ain't really got much about it.
Yeah. I feel you on that, man. Because English. I know these words. So it kind of brings me back to a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Okay.
And that book is like the Bible to successful relationships. Like every book about successful relationships in general reference that book. what is it? Stephen Covey, I think, is the guy who wrote that. I don't know. It's what's between him and John C. Maxwell. Denzel probably gonna come for me on that one. But How to Win Friends and Influence People is the name of the book, and
Okay.
I think I read that book about 3 or 4 times. That along with Think and Grow Rich. I read those books a million times. Like at this point, like I can't even tell you a point in my life when I wasn't reading them. That's how many times I read them. But yeah, like it kind of puts you in the mode. Like most people, they want to, when the relationship ends, they want to just they let it end, but they never reflect on how it went, like why it ended
Right.
or what made it end, like what was the cause and effect. And back in elementary school, they teach you doing like literature classes, like to analyze cause and effect of a situation.
Ooh.
Like if
Right.
I do this, if I do this, what happens as a result of my
After.
actions here? And then what is it? Newton's law with every reaction with
There's
every
a.
action there's a equal and opposite reaction. Like if I'm doing something, then something is going to happen because of this.
Right.
So I like how you said that you never come out of a relationship like thinking like like pointing the blame, and most people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. Even with like business relationships, personal relationships, most people just they look at it as, okay, well, this person, they did something, I don't like it, so I'm just gonna split. Or
Right.
I did something and this person, like they're not supposed to feel a certain type of way when I do something, but I'm perfectly fine and allowed, I'm obligated and have the right to feel a certain type of way because somebody else did something. I don't even need to react to that. I can react to what you do to me, but you can't react to what I do to you.
Ooh.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
it's a strange phenomenon of all of human life. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
come across so many people that's like that, man.
That's crazy because I had a real toxic relationship that was kind of like that. I'm pretty observative, so I
Yeah.
noticed like things she would do that she thought would just like be okay, and
Right.
then I tried to play a little mind game with her or whatever, So I had a situation where same thing she was doing to me, I had kind of did to her, and like she
Yeah.
just like went ballistic, like she did not like it at
Ooh.
all, and I'm just like, but you do this on the regular, like
Right.
this is something
Right.
you deemed acceptable, so how come when it's done to you, it's a no go, like
Yeah.
that's, it don't work like
Yo,
that.
ain't it crazy how that worked, man? I had an ex that was the same way. Like she was very flirtatious as a person.
Oh.
She was like one of those social butterflies kind of people, like the the Aphrodite type. I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh.
say it like that. The Aphrodite type. Like, yeah, she was one of those. And like when you like that, I get that you want to have your fun. I get you want to, kind of like I ain't gonna say she slept around because she didn't, but she was definitely she was on her way. She was
Right.
on her way. Like she was like the type of girl that will pull you into the trap just to get what she can get from you.
Oh.
Go on about your business. Like don't even like make you think you was about the score, but then take the whole game away from you at the last round. Like she was like one
Oh
of
wow.
those. So I was having like and I look, like I said, I feel like if you want to have your fun like that, ladies especially, if you want to have your fun, go ahead and do that. Just be upfront with everybody that you come in
Yeah,
contact with,
like be
and
respectful with it.
please do not, please do not call yourself trying to settle down and get into a serious relationship, because that just ain't your role. If you ain't meant to be in a relationship, do not force yourself to be in a relationship, and don't bring
Oh right,
people into your
yes.
bull. Please don't bring people into your bull, because what looks good to you don't look good to everybody else. So keep everybody else out of that. Like,
Facts.
so I was dating this chick, and I allowed myself to fall for her.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship just was, it was more on my end, it was more giving than receiving. And this kind of bring me back to the episode that I just edited, episode 61. For anybody who's watching this and ain't seen the last episode, this 63 right now. So it's back a few episodes, but supportivity is importante is the name of the episode. So go back. So
Yes.
go back and see that episode. But we talk about the equal giving and equal sacrifice. So in this relationship with this woman, girl at the time, she just wasn't. She was like the type of person that would take everything from you, but never give anything back. She would give you the false promises and make you feel good about yourself in the moment, just so she like tell you what you want to hear, just so she can get what she can get, and turn around and just dog you out in the end. So I was trying to plan for the future with this young lady at the time, and she was going along with the talk, but the actions just wasn't there.
Ooh.
There was the yes, we can do this, we can plan this, we can do that, but when I'm not around or when I'm not watching you, it's a whole different ball game.
Yep.
So hold on one second.
Take your time.
I had to pop my ears. I'm starting to hear that static. She was the type of person that would turn the tables on you when you ain't watching. So can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she was the type of person that would turn the tables on you when you weren't watching. And then what happened was, Maury and Steve Wilkos.
Yeah.
Maury and Steve Wilkos, man, they had you looking at everybody like everybody trash, bro. Like I'm dead serious. So I seen an episode of Steve Wilkos one day, and it was a situation where a woman had a kid by two different dudes, and she didn't know which dude was the baby daddy for the one kid, and there was another kid on the way, but she was still involved with these two dudes who she was in a committed relationship with both of these dudes, and both of them caught her at one point or another and addressed the situation, stayed with the girl, and she was still doing the same thing, living two different lives, and was having another baby and didn't know who the father was. So I was in a similar situation with this girl because she was in a committed relationship with me, and supposedly in another relationship with another dude that I didn't know about, unbeknownst to me. And then there was a third dude that she was also in a relationship with. Yeah. So
she was free spirited.
Free spirit, right?
Outright.
Okay. Oh my Jesus. But anyway, so I called her out I talked to her about the situation that I seen on the show, and on Steve Wilkos. We talked about the episode. She was like, "Yeah, that's so trifling. That's trash," and like all. And I was like, "Damn." Some would say the same about you. She was like, "What you mean? What?" She was like, "What the fuck are you trying to say?" I'm like, I mean, you got like 3 boyfriends right now. What do you mean?" And she was like, I was like, "Oh, you just thought I was just like wanting to shoot the shit with you about Steve Wilkos. You know I don't watch that shit." Oh yeah. Yeah, the inability to self-assess, man.
Right, like this is supposed to be an intervention.
Right. I can do whatever I want to do to you, but you call me a hoe. Call me a hoe, I get upset. Oh man, we probably need an insurance bucket for this episode.
That is wild though, but like honesty, like why is it so hard for people to be honest in situations like that? Like,
I don't know.
And mostly all of them, the female or the male, is clearly not looking to settle down. So why go with it? Like, why get this person's hopes and dreams up? You gassing this person up and all this
Right.
other stuff. You just gonna dip like at the end. Like if you
Right.
were to like be like real serious, like a real serious, like calm person, you would let this person get all the way to the altar and not even show up.
Well,
Like,
what a day.
right? Like this person
What a
got his
day.
family there. Like you done met the mama and everything, and no plans, no plans for a future at all. You just
Nah, not at all. Not at all. We're going to Vegas and we're gonna we're gonna
elope.
hit the slots up. We're gonna hit the slots up while you stand at the altar with your fresh dress on,
Tragic.
looking boo boo in the face. Oh man, it's funny. I seen a Hallmark movie where a girl got left at the altar by a dude. It was the funny. Like I ain't gonna say it's funny, but it was just weird how that situation happened. I'm like, yo, you had no red flags up
Right.
until this point. You had no red flags. Like you just end up standing at the altar. Not getting like I get it. Like you say yes to get to a proposal in the moment, and then like from the time that you say yes to the proposal up to the time that the wedding come, there was no red flags. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Like there had to be some inconsistency somewhere to be like, hold up now,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's the relationship thing, man. It's deep, man. It's
It is.
deep.
But
It's like go ahead.
but like from the side of that, like sometimes you do have those real like honest. They ain't with the bull crap. They speak their mind, so to speak, or whatever.
Yeah,
They'll tell you up front, straight as it is, straight as an arrow, straight shooters, all that.
yeah.
That hey, this is what I'm here for. This is what I want. I'm a little hesitant about this, but I'm willing to work on it and all
Right.
that. And like those people are like a real blessing. To have that type of honesty and a
Yeah, man.
friendship relationship. I got friends now that I mean, some of them will pull me to the side, but some of them they be like, hey, yo, think you need this tic tac right here. I think you might need that, bro. Just go ahead and take two of those. You be good. You be good.
Yeah,
And you just keep it
yeah.
rolling. Like, I mean, yeah, some people like they're so afraid to get embarrassed. I know that's for some reason a real big thing with people, embarrassment. Like no one wants to be embarrassed. But I'm like, I have the saying or philosophy like, you can't
Right.
get embarrassed unless you get embarrassed. You feel me? Like it's almost like an emotion, but at the end you still control that emotion. Like if something
Right.
people be like, oh, that's embarrassing, but I'm just like, it might be, but
It
it
might not.
happened. It happens to everyone.
Uh,
You
right.
trip and fall, and then you just go to crying because you fell in front of a crowd. Like but everyone trips and falls. Like we
Right.
are imperfect humans. Like there's none perfect about us. People be tripping off air. Like I don't understand that, but it happens.
Ghost toes.
Right? It's just wild. Like it's just like a mistake. It happens. You get back up, learn from it. You keep it moving.
Man, that one thing about being embarrassed, like it happened to people on movies all the time. Like and
Yeah.
people watching. Like no actor who has ever fallen in a horror movie has looked back at the crowd and be like, "Oh my God, that's so embarrassing." It is, but like
My life in
they
danger. I
got
need
back
to
up and they kept it moving.
run.
They don't think nothing twice. They don't think twice about it. Like it
Facts.
happened and they move on about their business. Like that's not how that works.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
All right.
How you been this week, man? What, I see the plaque. You then got the the book writing. So like, what's next? What are we working on next?
Man, this conglomeration of a whole bunch of things and thoughts and plans and stuff. I know.
Conglomeration.
we were talking about on the last episode 61 where I had 28 books that was scheduled to be written, which now that I actually take the whole story into accumulation, everything that I've been thinking about for the past 10 years now, that number has now increased to 65, I think.
65 books.
Yeah, 65. Well,
That's a big
I
jump.
mean, I'm not sure if it's all going to be 65 books, but right now there's 65 individual stories that
Okay.
can be written. There is a total of about 7 series right now that can be written, based off of the stories that I've come up with in my head and the backstories of all the characters that I created.
Okay.
So what the next plan right now is, of course I'll all of my beta readers on deck, waiting for the first rough draft of my first book, which
Okay.
I'm going to neglect saying the name of at the moment, just in case there are people listening for that. But right now I'm editing the book. Just started editing. Like, I have that screen up in the background right now, going over everything in the first few chapters of the book. Hopefully, I had that done by December 15th, and have those copies of the ebook version, printed version, or whatever the case is, in everybody's hands by December 15th, so we can go ahead and read through that and go on about it, into the next step, which
Okay.
is the next step
Okay.
is the actual publication will be the next step after
Dope.
that.
Dope.
Of course, there's also the issue of the cover that needs to be discussed. But yes, that's a whole conflict in of itself.
That's dope though. That's dope though. So out of all that, what can you say was the big push to get this started? Like, what would you be like super thankful for that if without it, like, you wouldn't be right here?
I'm gonna be honest. And I'm gonna say the team.
Hey.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, nothing gets you going more than people that get you going. Like, actually doing something and not allowing yourself to be stagnant. That is the thing that keeps you moving. Having people around you that are willing to grow, that are willing to change some stuff up, that are willing to push forward. That is the thing that got me going. And also having a supportive significant other that
Yeah.
is always telling you that you can do, even if she have no indicators or undertoning belief that you can do this. Like, if I told Alyssa that all right, tomorrow I think I'm gonna fly, Alyssa would be like, go for it, babe, you got it. I'd be right here
Awesome.
with you. And like, she never tells me that I can't do anything, and I think that that's like something that I need to hear, something that I kind of need in the background, somebody just pushing me to just be like, no, just go ahead and do it. Don't even worry about what's going on over there. Just go ahead and do it. And then having you guys around that, like, I can actually bounce these ideas off of and say something, and nobody is looking at me sideways like, oh, that sounds crazy. Like, what you mean by that? Like, nah, like, everybody is like, yo, shoot for the stars. I ain't big. And I love that, man. I love that about all y'all, man. Like, that's what keeps me going, honestly. Right
That's
now,
what's
that's
up.
what's keeping me going.
That is what's up. I feel the same way. I actually tell my little brother this all the time. Like,
Uh,
it was God's plan, like, not for me to have a twin, or like, that's why my siblings are like 5 years apart. Because I was like, even though I'm a introvert, kind of stay to myself. But if I had that one person that had that same thought process as me, that just gave me that small confidence boost, I swear
right.
I would have ran high school. Cause boy, I had plans, man. I had plans, but I was like, I'm gonna just stay to myself. I'm gonna stay in my little bubble. I don't need to do all that.
Right.
That'd be doing too much.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I love that. I love that because like it's no greater feeling than having somebody that believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
I know sometimes some people don't really have that background, that structure, or that person at all. Sometimes people go through their entire life without even like meeting a person like that, and
Yeah.
it's kind of sad. But if you're listening to this podcast, we are those people. We believe in you. We
Oh
think
yeah.
you can do that,
Absolutely.
sir. If you're listening, just follow your dreams, man. Don't be afraid to start anything, man or female. If you got a business idea in general, or just a hobby you want to start it. Do it. You got this. But yeah, that's
You
awesome.
know what I would love though?
What's up?
Like what I would love for right now, like we have multiple ways to get in touch with us. You got our website, you got Facebook, you got Twitter. Even if you wanted to hit us up on TikTok, you can go ahead and do that. Again, you
Facts.
you can inbox people on TikTok, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you do that? Yeah, you can inbox people on TikTok. You can inbox people on Instagram and email whatnot. You got our email address. Like what I would love right now, like if anybody's listening to this podcast, like I would love to have a conversation with anybody who has a dream and has a goal
Oh.
and wants to just tell that dream and that goal to somebody. Just and I know you might have heard me say that I don't like people to talk to me about their ideas. But there's a difference between somebody who wants to talk to you about an idea versus somebody who is implementing the idea and doesn't have the support to do so. So what I would like to happen is like sometime in the future for you guys to hit us up and let's talk about it. Let's
Right.
have a conversation about it. We'll even have you on the podcast if that's what you want to talk about, if you want to do promotions or whatever the case is. Let's talk about it, man. Let's open up a community and just have an open conversation about growth, man. That's all I want to talk about is just growth. That's it,
Facts.
for real.
Facts. That's awesome.
Halfway
That's awesome.
point.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, when you said that actually gave me an idea. Something we could probably do. Have like a I don't really have a name for it yet, but like a idea box or a community.
Suggestion box week.
Yeah, something
I
where
mean,
people could come through and like drop their ideas in. You know, they don't really have anybody like supporting them in their idea, but they have an idea and you just need to just express it. Because sometimes
yeah,
saying it out loud or writing it down makes it personal, makes it
makes it real.
makes it
Write the vision, make it plain.
yeah. So I thought something online or something in person that could be
Yeah, we have platforms for that, man.
Right.
You can comment on any of our blog posts on our website. You can actually comment on the podcast itself on the website. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on Instagram, on our post on Instagram whenever we do post on that. Would love love for one of you guys to help us with our social media presence, but
Right.
but that's a whole different battle. But yeah, we have all those resources for people to reach out to us, man. And I just encourage you guys to do so, man, because I would love to hear from you. Yeah.
So about starting all this and idea processes and all that other stuff. What did you do personal to kind of get the ball rolling for all this? I know many a times we've said we talked about this for a good year before we started the podcast, but
Yeah.
even though it took that long, it still got started. And it's never too late to start any idea that you might have. Somebody might be out there already doing it, or you might think that, I can't do it because somebody's doing it this way or something like that. Still, don't be afraid to start it. Don't fall into the social norm. Your way might be better than somebody else's, or you just might have that idea in a different way that other people wanted to see it happen, and just like with the book, I'm glad you started it. I'm glad you want to do it. Even though there's a lot of superhero books, movies,
Plenty,
and all that other stuff with their own
plenty.
whole universes and multi
Mm-hmm.
universes and all this other stuff. Uh, I'm glad that that didn't get you down. You still wanted to start,
Yeah.
something that you created, that you thought of, and all that other stuff.
Was there a question in that? Like,
It was, but then I started ranting.
it got
So
lost in
I'll
translation.
yeah,
What was the
yeah.
question?
What was your idea process to how you got this started?
um, we talked about this on a previous episode.
Mm,
How I came to this idea, and it
mm-hmm.
was the question of what's
Uh,
faster, the speed of light or the speed of darkness. And I at first, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I started writing this thing in an iPod Touch, just
mm,
sitting in a bench of a locker room in somewhere in
in
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina,
I don't even
yeah.
know where I was. They Uncle Sam just kind of picked me up and dropped me off into a situation,
Mm-hmm.
and I just ended up in this locker room on this iPod Touch, just jotting down notes, and wrote a whole novel in the summer. It was trash. It was trash. It was absolute trash. Like there was
But
nothing
you
about
wrote it
that
though.
that was readable. But it was written exactly, and I saved it. I held on to it, and over the years, I just constantly rewrote it, rewrote it, rewrote it. I think this
Mm-hmm.
is literally like the sixth time I wrote this book, straight up. Like I'm so done with this story
Uh,
and ready to get on to the next one. Man, I don't even think anybody could understand that. But you get from a point where your ideas are your ideas.
mm-hmm.
They're not going anywhere. But once your ideas sit with you for that long, you're talking 10 years of just constantly thinking about something, writing something
Right.
down, thinking about it again, writing it down again, regurgitating. One day I'm gonna do this. One day I'm gonna do that. One day I'm gonna do this. Like when you constantly juggling those thoughts and keep repeating those same actions, you're stuck on you on that one screen. You remember the old PlayStation, the very first
Very first,
PlayStation,
yeah.
and a disc was scratched up. You know, like
Oh
the two
man.
screens that came up
Yep.
when you started the PlayStation up. It was like the white screen that showed the Sony joint, and it
Mm-hmm.
had like the sound in the background, and then it'll go into the black jump where it actually showed the PlayStation logo, and then the game start. But then sometimes you have a scratch CD. That first screen to come up, then it go into that black screen,
And that's
and then
it.
it just stay there. It just stay. It just hang up.
Yep.
So I kind of look at my career as a writer like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started it up, and it got hung up a few times,
Right.
and I kept restarting it. It got hung up a few times. I kept restarting it. It got hung up a few times. Well, what I realized is that my personal perception
Mm-hmm.
of what it would be like to be an author was a bit jaded. It
Mm-hmm.
was. It was. I was afraid of the industry. I was afraid of the success that could come. I was afraid of the failure that could come. But what ended up happening is like over the years, as I was doing other things and ignoring the fact that I had this attrition to be a writer, I was learning. I was learning business. I was
Mm-hmm.
learning how to be an entrepreneur. I was learning to accept failure for what it is and move on until you find success. And as I was learning those things, it made me look at my writing in a different light. So once I started learning those things from these other industries, when I came back to this, it put me in a whole different mode. So when I realized that, I sat down and started writing this. Now, okay, write the vision, make it plain. Put yourself in a position where you got a deadline, meet your deadline, and work and have little small repeatable steps
Right.
until you get to the deadline. You got people around you telling you appreciate the small wins. You got people around you telling you that we got your back no matter what you do. So follow that.
Hmm.
Do that. Just follow the same course. You've been doing it for this long. 10 years. Don't let 10 years be that thing that don't sit on something for 10 years and just let it die.
Right.
Like, no, that's not how that works. You've been here but you always come back here. You've been there, but you always come back here. You've been here, but you always come back here. Follow that same course. Don't keep going off into all these different paths trying to do all this other stuff when you already have that one thing that you're good at.
You saying all that got me thinking of this conversation me and Denzel had about me making video games or whatever.
Right.
The picture I posted with the drawing, he was like, that's a great start, because I was looking at all these videos and, you know, getting my ideas straight and all that other stuff. But like we learn by seeing things, and there's also another aspect that helps us learn a lot more, and that's doing.
Right.
And just doing that drawing, putting it on paper, learning it first and then doing it helped a whole lot more, because you could watch, you know, 1,000 videos about how to do something, and still when it's time to actually do it, you don't have it, because you don't have that hands on. You don't have that just like working on a car. You know, they can tell you in a book, all right, you got to tighten this bolt to, you know, certain amount of what PSI I think is that no that's pressure.
No,
torque, there we go. And you can't get that feeling from just reading it in a textbook. Like, you gotta go and grind that to, you know,
no question.
Yeah, and that just
no
got
question.
me thinking of that. Just starting it. Just you have the idea, just put it out there. Don't really care about how it looks at first, because it's your first time. Like, you're just starting. You just keep hacking at it, keep practicing at it, and then eventually you get better.
Hey, your phone ringing?
Yes. Did that stop?
Yeah, it probably did.
All right. Hold on.
Don't worry about it. We can still.
Hello? Yeah. Doing a podcast right now. He is downstairs watching TV, eating banana. No, he just woke up. All right. Have fun at work. Well, I mean, I guess you can call it work.
She was at work?
Yeah, she had to work today.
What?
Yeah. You see? Say hi to Aaron. Oh, I mean, of course you can, but yeah, there you go. All right, later. Talk to you later.
How she had to work and you didn't?
Maybe because she's a PA. I don't really know.
Well, Alyssa had to work today too. Po things. We gotta get.
So yeah, like when you have an idea, just put it out there. Just do it. Don't be too hung up on how it looks at first. Just keep hacking at it, and eventually, you know, you get better. Just like all things, practice makes perfect.
That's perfect.
I know a lot of times we get hung up on wanting to do something to where it's spot on perfect. But there's nothing in life that is spot on perfect. A lot of things that have been like made great are literally just accidents. Like huge mistakes, especially in our medical field, our food industry. A lot of that stuff was literally like, all right, we're gonna make this as perfect as possible. Then something went wrong with the machine and it turned out some other way, and boom. I think that's how we got taffy, actually.
That's also how we got French fries.
Yes. I think the story about taffy was they were trying to do something and the machine broke, and it like winded the taffy up and it made it like the long stuff, and they were like, oh, we can product this. Yeah, real weird. But yeah, some mistakes are made to be learned from. I know we said this on the previous podcast before, that you're not perfect. You're gonna make mistakes. Don't look at them as a detrimental thing. look at them as lessons that you can learn from. The ability to self-assess and reflect to move forward.
Yep.
Just stuff like that, man.
Yep. And that brings me back. How you said that like people think that things are supposed to just be perfect just when you start. I had that conversation with Alyssa all the time. Like she wants to be 100% accurate, 100% spot on in order to start something. And what we do is when we have that mentality, we get into what's called a paralysis by analysis. But we right now it's November. We about 5 months before our lease is up on the apartment that we're living in right now. And Alyssa constantly wants to do research on real estate. But what ends up happening is you want to be so perfect when you start that you start to realize that you don't even realize that the more research that you do is all repetitive information. You already know what to do from the get-go. You already know exactly how to start this thing off and how it's going to end. You know exactly how to plan for it. But yet, instead of going out to do it because you had that fear of failure, you get stuck on research mode, and then you end up just regurgitating the same research over and over and over again, where the successful people who have done it already have told you that this ain't what you're supposed to be doing. Nothing trumps experience.
Right.
Y'all heard Marcus say it. You heard him say it. He said that you get a different level of knowledge when you go out and do it. When you reading a book about how to torque a screw, you reading a book on how to torque a screw. That screw still ain't got torque yet. So you actually got to get out there, pick up the torque wrench, and actually turn that bolt yourself and torque that bolt. Like it's not going to happen with you reading. So don't focus on getting the information right. Most of great things in life was made great in the process. They didn't start great. And there's a saying that goes along with that. You don't have to start to be great. You don't have to be great to start, but you got to start to be great.
Yeah. And
we all know it. We all heard it before.
That made me think of a lot of times books, especially in a field of a point where you're selling something. They don't tell you, or they don't really have a good, I guess, picture quality of the human aspect of when you're trying to sell somebody. Sell something. Ooh, I said sell somebody.
Yeah.
Jesus. You guys want to get into real estate. We all want to get into real estate or whatnot. There's no book that can tell us that human aspect. Like, say we're trying to get a tenant or sell the house to somebody.
Right.
The way we act, we approach people, and the way we, I guess what's the encounter people they'll help the sale. Like a lot of times real estate people, they're real friendly, they're real what's the word not demanding, but straightforward. Some of them are direct. They're real direct, and they make you feel like you're a part of their family, or you're one of their friends, to really drive in that sale, to get them to
that's salespeople in general, though.
I mean, like some of them, like the people at the mall, they once you make eye contact with you, they got you. They are in it for the long run. They will walk and talk with you. They hype you up, give you a bargain, and all this other stuff. And it's just you can't get that from a book. You gotta go out and just dive into that. Like, you gotta experience.
But those people also forget that they talk to you when you come back. So
yeah.
I don't know if they're the best example to use in this scenario.
This is true.
Yeah, man. It's a reason. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, it's a reason why every book that you read, no matter what book you read, sales, relationship, anything, like every book always point back to one book. Like in any industry, like the first book in that industry is like, okay, yeah, this the OG book of this industry right here. If you haven't read this particular book to know exactly what you're doing, then you don't know exactly what you're doing. But you read that book and then you're like, oh yeah, that was good information. It's like, okay, then you be like, well, this book was written almost 100 years ago, so it might not be relevant now. So let me go read this book, and then that book tell you like, yeah, I got this from this book. Like this is all just people's opinion. Like for real, like every book that I've read, like I constantly read books for the longest time. I mean, the longest. Like personal development, I'm all about that. But what I had to figure out was that personal development in this age is not the same as it was when the information was new. Information not new no more. I got plenty of books over here on my bookshelf that I usually just flip through it. I find what I need out of it, and I'm good with it. Like I don't need to read the whole book because most of the book is just the author's story. I don't need to hear the author's story. The author wrote a book to entrap you, to make you think that all of this information here for in the context, in the index or whatever, is everything pertaining to that particular subject. But no, that's mostly his story. Every book is that author's story. In about half of the book, maybe 2, 3, up to 10 pages out of 300 is about that subject that you bought that book on.
Wow.
So, so what you need to do is get off the information, jump in and just do it. Fail forward. You're going to fail the first time. You're going to fail the first time. If you knew exactly what you were doing when you were born, then you would have never had to go to school. Like it is what it is. Like you would have skipped that whole process. You wouldn't have to waste 12 years of your life, and sometimes 4 to 10 to 12, depending on who you are. You wouldn't have had to do that. Right. You had to go to school so you can learn what was going on. But once you learn what's going on, what happens? You get the real world. Now the real world got you. And if you don't come off of that information, you steadily keeping your head in the book, and you don't move your hands, you ain't got nothing.
Right.
You're going to fail by default because you keep looking away from your work. We need to have a Christmas episode coming up at some point.
Okay.
I think at this point, at the point that this episode releases, I think it will be Christmas. I think we'll have like a few days until Christmas when this episode comes out. So we need to make that happen like real fast. Real fast. We can do that one day. I say, huh?
Nah, keep going.
I say next in the next week or so, we need to come together, have a little Christmas party or something like that.
That'd be dope. I dig it. Oh, we can have it just like the anniversary episode.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Well, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome in the room. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. I always say with me is my co-host, the Aaron Mack. Always remember that if you say you can't do something and you say you can do something, you're probably right.
See you next week.
Peace.